All right. Hopefully everything is coming through all right. There we go. Get this chat turned on. I forgot what was it? Why? Whoa, no, it wasn't. What was it? Regular. There we go. One of these. I don't know. What looks better? The big or the medium? Probably the big. It's been a week and a half or so since we've been on. Got crazy slammed. Normally I was using Meld Studio for this, but I'm going to be trying out StreamYard. We're going to be listening to the latest Brian Enton episode. I'll be back to regular shows tomorrow night, by the way. We'll be doing regular shows, mixing a little bit of these in from time to time because I do enjoy these. I do miss it. It's been, like I said, a good week and a half. So I'm probably going to be rusty tonight when it comes to this game right here that we're going to play for a little while we listen. But we already knew about these other dates. There's just, now people are coming out talking about how could it be a signal jammer and that's what we were saying from day one, man. I don't, the same people that are like discrediting the whole jammer thing, and man, people did some deep dives on that, right? um but now the same people that were promoting it like it was something special, something worth reporting on, something worth digging into, and fooling people, are the same people that are now talking about how it is. How could it be real when when they had to like pick flowers and it's like, yeah, duh, duh. That's what we were trying to tell you. Like, you used to work for the FBI. You're supposed to be some sleuther, but you were all up in that fucking jammer shit when it came out. When common sense tells you, when common sense tells you, if they had a signal jammer, they would have used it, not catch them all up on different days and different dates and all that other stuff. So supposedly there was a break this morning. There was no breaking news this morning. I don't know. It's sad because a lot of it, even though I haven't been around for the last week and a half on the show per se, I've still continued to look in and and check out different things and stuff, and so, and and have the ear to the ground. And it's just very, I don't know, it's just unfortunate because um, where's it all got any closer to Nancy? No, no, not at all. Um, just a bunch of heartstrings that got pulled. So that's the latest. There's some neighbor that saw a suspicious man walking around. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, y- you can go to your smallest city, and there's going to be people that are popping up on ring cameras that look suspicious. I mean, anybody looks suspicious. Even when that ring cam of that guy came out that was just cutting through somebody's yard, didn't even stop and look at their car, didn't do nothing, just was doing what kids do, cutting through somebody's yard late at night, trying to get home quicker. We've all done it. Does that mean that they committed this crime? No. Is it suspicious? No. But then again, was the glove 2 miles away suspicious? Well, to us, no. Was the jammer? No. Was the route that they came up with in this whole Prius hoopla? No, no, no. Over here, anyway. not trying to pull at heartstrings. There's enough stuff that everybody goes through on a daily basis. The last thing anybody needs to deal with is more heartstrings being pulled when you come to just relax and get information and but you know how it is. It just gets worse every day. It just gets worse and worse and worse. It's all about the clickbait, baby. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start this now. Hopefully the audio turns out okay using StreamYard here. So let me turn that down just a skosh. All right, so yeah, it's been a while since I played it. And we'll see. I might just the last time I played one of the last couple nights that I was playing, it might have been the last 2 nights that I was playing this. Um, I wasn't doing too good. So who knows? If you do want to invite me, EvilleCJ number 2. Oh shoot, I forgot my number. EvilleCJ number 6279. I think. What's going on with my game here? Let me see. Yeah, 6279. EvilleCJ number 6279 if you want to send an invite to play. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this tour up. We're betting $30,000. Prize is $60,000. If we win, I ain't been doing too good, so we'll see what happens. I do have 455,000 though in coin right there. Oh yeah, you can see my nice little American flag. For some reason, it's not animating for me, but I hope hopefully it is for you. Little bug on StreamYard, and the backgrounds don't animate either for me, so I'm sure that's a bug too. We'll be doing live calls. Got all that stuff set up. We'll be doing live calls for each show now. And it's going to be pretty interesting. All right, so let me go ahead and play this, Brian, and let me know how the audio is.
Checking out my show. I really, really appreciate it. Please click to subscribe. I appreciate all the support. It is day 44 in the search for Nancy Guthrie. You can tell my backdrop's a little different. I'm home now in Florida. Came home just to kind of recharge. See my dog. See hi, Scout. Oh, I missed her so much. She's so happy I'm home. But I'm obviously staying on the case. And there's been some developments. A new date that I have found that investigators are looking into. I just spoke to a neighbor who I hadn't spoken to before, so I'm going to get into that. Also, billboards. You guys have been sending me pictures. Billboards have now been going up in different parts of the country. And there's something else I forgot that's new today that I also got. Oh, yeah, something about Nancy's front door that someone in the neighborhood pointed out to me that I hadn't thought about before that could be important. I'm going to get into all of it in this episode. Brian Enton investigates. Hey guys, so as I said, I'm back home in Florida. I was in Arizona for 42 days, which I can't believe. I think it's the longest I've ever been away from home before. I mean, I travel every week for stories pretty much, but I don't think I've ever stayed 42 days in one place nonstop. The Idaho murders, I was there.
What's up, Susan?
I think for a month straight before I went home for a break. And then with Gabby Petito, I think it was the same, but Gabby Petito, where I was outside Brian Laundrie's was kind of easier because it was in Florida.
Well, with StreamYard, what's up, Rita? What's up, Susan? Yoli, Rosie, with oh. All right. No, with StreamYard, I'm only able to. I've been asking them for the last couple years to add multiple screen shares, and they still haven't done it. They want to give you the option to like do dumb shit, but they don't want to give you the option for stuff that. But anyway, I'm trying to start using. What's up, Someway? I'm trying to start using StreamYard for this. So let me. Oh shoot! Hold on. All right, that wasn't gonna work. But I'm trying to just use StreamYard, and I'm just testing out, hanging out, also testing out, seeing if it works out this way because um, uh, the other program is just being buggy again. So let me know, how it sounds. If it needs to be louder, whatever, whatever. Just give me any kind of feedback. I'd appreciate it.
So I could scoot home on the weekends sometimes. So I don't think I've ever been away from home for 42 days. But I'm not like some of you have messaged me like, oh, please don't give up on Nancy and don't stop covering the case constantly. And I'm not going to. I mean, I'm still going to be doing these episodes a lot. But I talked to my sources like right now it just seemed like a good time to kind of just take a little recharge at home. I had some things to need to take care of. Obviously, I was a little homesick. So it just felt like a good time to kind of recharge. And I'm going to obviously be going back to Arizona and staying on top of the case. And there's also some other cases and stories that I kind of put on the back burner that need my attention too. Some that you have also been following. So I'll be getting back to those too. But don't worry, like I'm not giving up on the Nancy Guthrie case. And I don't think it's going cold, by the way. Some of you have asked me that. I think it's taking some time, but I think there's going to be movement overall. But in this episode, a really interesting interview. This is a neighbor who I haven't interviewed before. Her name is Laura. She had some really interesting new information that I hadn't heard before. One is she started telling me about a new date that FBI agents are asking about and Pima County Sheriff's detectives. Remember, and you're going to hear her full interview in a second, but remember we knew about January 11th. We knew that they were keying in on January 11th and that they were asking neighbors for video from January 11th if they had seen anything suspicious on January 11th. So we knew that. But she told me that the detectives have also been asking her about January 24th, which is the first I've heard of this. January 24th would have been the Saturday before Nancy went missing. So 8 days before Nancy went missing. And again, you're going to hear her explain this, but she said specifically they were looking for video from that day. They actually helped her go through her cameras to see if she had anything suspicious on them from January 24th. It's interesting that that's on a weekend and that January 11th is also on a weekend. It's just kind of stood out to me. I don't know if they think that this suspect may have been someone who worked during the week that would come and case the neighborhood on the weekends. That I don't know, but I know that they have been interested in January 24th, which is new, and that they were also interested in January 11th. And again, you're going to hear her explain that in a second. The other interesting thing she brought up to me, which hasn't been discussed much, is that Nancy Guthrie had a security gate on her front door. If you look at this, you can see it. There's like a gate, and many of you guys probably have these. They're pretty common, but there was like a gate on the front door with a lock. And then you can see her, her normal door is behind it, but there's a security gate in the front. And Laura brought up an interesting point to me, and she just like knows the neighborhood. She has a security gate. She said, when those are
You
locked,
better.
they're really, really
I was
difficult
gonna
to get
say.
through. So she does not believe that the suspect who we saw on video was trying to get into Nancy's house through.
Yeah, it was just a bunch of hoopla, bunch of goose chasing like everything else. And Nancy's the one that has to suffer for it. It's a bunch of bull crap. Let me know what screen looks better too. Does this one or this one? And I should move this. Let me move me over here real quick. Here, we'll put me right there. There we go. Nice. We started off with a win. All right. And again, if anybody wants, let me go ahead and throw this up here too. Sorry, I'm kind of getting back into the swing of things here. If you do want to invite me as well, EvilleCJ hashtag 6279. And I'll go ahead and play anybody. All right. Let's go ahead and get this second game knocked out. And I don't know if there's any tournaments going on. The second one, the one with the TV, or the one, this one with the TV or full screen. Actually, this needs a chat box. There we go. Get that chat box up there. And let's see, we'll go right there. The TV looks better. The TV screen. I'm loving that American flag up there, man. I'm so happy I got that thing to work. As you can see, you'll see there's like we got different screens. Do you guys like this one better? And let me add the chat box for this one too. Let me know if you like this one better. Small TV, big TV, no TV. We got small TV, no TV, or big TV. Let me know. Small TV, no TV, big TV. All right. Did a lot of work the last week and a half on stuff for the show. So let's see. Oh, yeah, we got to get back to Brian Enton's episode here.
Through the front door, because she says if that security gate was locked, it wouldn't have worked out.
But I do want to say, though, if we do need to at any moment, we can do this, okay? If we need to at any moment, we can do this. So it's not like we can't see it. If I'm like, oh, hey, look at this, you guys. Yeah, we'll stop. We'll screen share this, you know.
It would have been very, very difficult. She believes that
But we're going to switch back to pool. You know what I mean? We can do each one. All right. Let's see. Turn that back on. There we go. And let's go back to Brian Enton. Let me know. No TV, big TV, small TV.
That there may have been someone inside the house already that was about to take Nancy
big TV?
out, like an accomplice, and that he's at the front door waiting for them to open the door, waiting for that person to open the door so that he can assist in bringing Nancy out the front door, but that they didn't gain entry through the front door because of that security gate, she believes, which when you think about it, does make sense because those security gates, if it was locked, would be difficult to get through. And I hadn't thought about that series of events and that possibility, and the way she described it.
Yeah, nobody has.
Makes sense. And you'll hear her, again, explain that in detail in this interview. And one last thing, remember the pictures that we have from the front of the suspect. One of them we know is from around when Nancy went missing. And the other one, I am told, despite the sheriff sort of pushing back on this, but I have a good source on it, that they believe it's from a previous day. Whether that day is January 11th, whether that's January 24th, I don't know. But it is interesting to me, again, that they are keying in on January 11th and January 24th.
As two I didn't hit it hard enough.
That are also on weekends, by the way.
That's
something
big
else.
TV,
many of you
big
sending
TV,
me
big
pictures
TV.
of the billboards that you're seeing now. The Find Nancy Guthrie
check
billboards.
this out. Look at this.
Remember in the beginning, there hasn't been a press conference in so long, but when the FBI were part of that initial press conference, they said that there were going to be billboards like this. We weren't sure exactly where they were going to go. I know that there are some, just because you've messaged me, in the Houston area, outside Houston. I know that there's one in Southern California, these electronic billboards. So it is kind of interesting that they're not focused on just Arizona, but they seem to be popping up kind of all over the region and in other states.
I did some new stuff. I know
that some of them were up this weekend because you guys saw them. So I want to get to my interview
some new stuff
with Laura because, again, there's a lot that she talked about that I hadn't heard before. Also a really, really nice lady. It was nice meeting all these people in the neighborhood who I'm still in touch with constantly. So I wanted you guys to hear my conversation with Laura. What are your thoughts? I mean, it's now, been more than 40 days. Where's your mind at right now?
All right, we're going to go ahead and take a break from this. We're going to switch to this conversation from Laura here real quick. Let's check this out.
I think I've appreciated having a little bit of a break the last week or two, where it's
what's up, Busby?
Nancy's disappearance isn't in the media all the time, in part because it gives me a break because I've been contacted a lot, and it lets me kind of get on with my life and things that I've kind of put on hold for a while. But just like how I felt after the death of my parents. Distance and time from the event gives you a little bit of calm and peace, but it also you realize it's already been a month, and I can't believe they've been gone for a month already. So it kind of both sides, feeling a bit of sorrow, along with feeling like personally it's given me a little more space with my neighbors and to kind of carry on with my life, but also in complete disbelief that we don't know where she is. And that is troubling to me. I understand it, though, and I'm not faulting anybody, but it does feel extra troubling. And I don't, I think about Nancy's daughters and son-in-law and grandchildren. How do they get on with their lives, and how do they get on and with this, knowing that their grandmother and mother are still missing?
Yeah, the sheriff said, he was asked, do you think this person can strike again? And he said, absolutely.
Why?
Which is not something I've heard him say before.
It's common sense.
Then he went on to say, but we believe it was targeted, but we don't
common
really
sense.
Know. Are you nervous? Are people nervous?
I saw that quote today, and I saw
it's
that
common sense.
Just really talking with the NBC report.
It's what it's day one. Day one. Like, if you have no freaking leads, yeah. Like, why is everybody shocked? Like, are we really floating off that far as a society where it's like nobody has common sense anymore? Crazy. It's crazy. We'll be getting back to some pool here in a few. I wanted to show you guys this interview. Then we'll get back to listening to him talk.
Orders. And I think
that too.
It's a little bit ambiguous. I think it's targeted, but we're not sure. I'm just not quite sure what that means. But it did cause, my hair to raise up a bit when he said that. And it did give me, some time to think about what that means. And it made me a little bit uncomfortable being, a nearby neighbor. I was thinking about that today on my way home from my appointment. Like, okay, what does that mean? And does that mean there could be somebody else lurking around? Somebody that's just looking for easy targets? He said it was targeted, but targeted based on what? What's the target? Was it, I don't want to go through and give anybody ideas, but what was the target? Is it a ransom? Was it an easy, vulnerable person?
Or I just wanted to be on Brian Investigates because I wanted my face on the camera. This is ridiculous, man. Like, what? So if you know that, what? Oh, they're targeting money, what are you going to do? They're targeting jewelry, what are you going to do? They're targeting heirloom. What are you going to do? You going to hide your shit? Does it matter what they're targeting? The fact that it happened, whether it was targeted or not, let's be real. The fact that it happened, was it whether it was targeted or not, does that matter? No, it still happened. So if it wasn't targeted or it was targeted, it still happened. They still don't know where they're at. They still don't know who it is. They still don't know what direction. They don't know nothing. It doesn't matter if it's targeted or not. I just want to show my face on TV.
Somebody living alone, somebody elderly. What's the target? So, and that's what kind of went through my mind today. What is the target exactly that they're talking about? It has to be one of the above. Somebody that, had some
I'm not playing the game.
Somebody who's vulnerable, Okay, 1, somebody's vulnerable. 2, somebody who lives alone. 3, someone with an easy to access home. 4,
I think you're
you can go
delayed,
through 4
Rosie.
or
Double
5
check to see if you're delayed.
possible reasons she was targeted, including, having a famous
Oh,
daughter
you
of
mean
some wealth.
these?
Yeah. All right, guys, I want to introduce you to the sponsor of today's episode.
All right, do you mean these sounds? Like the no whammy? No whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Yeah, I accidentally left those full blast on accident. Got some new sounds too. All right, so we're going to skip ahead this little sponsorship thing and we're going to go back to this interview.
Do you have a sense of what may have happened? I mean, just knowing the area, I mean, what does your gut tell you?
My first thought was that it was a target based on who her daughter is. I mean, that was my sense just from the start. I didn't really consider any other possibilities, in part because I knew I knew she lived there. I knew who her daughter was. When I would walk by, I would always, I always noticed her house and whether she was there or not, and, outside. And I always thought that that was a potential, for me, the strongest possibility that maybe it was a crime of opportunity versus looking a little deeper at, other people in Tucson. This might just be someone that you became aware of that had a famous daughter. So that was always the reason I think somebody targeted, but who knows? I don't know the answer to that.
Subtitle, I was a nosy Nancy in the neighborhood. Subtitle, we know about nosy Nancys. We know about the nosy Nancys that were taking place in the Sebastian Rogers case. Same similarities as to what happened. Don't know what direction. Don't know what. Don't know. Don't know. Same thing. Investigation fumbled from the get-go. But this lady, doesn't it remind you of Bobby from the Sebastian? I mean, seriously, does this not remind you of Bobby? I used to watch her all the time. Yeah, I'm sure you were looking out your kitchen fucking window complaining about this or that. I can imagine if flies could talk. I could imagine the stuff that was being said. But damn, she reminds me of Bobby from Sebastian Rogers' case. Yes, even if I close out and come back, there's still there. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. Who knows? Maybe there's an issue. All right, let's get back. It reminds me of Bobby. And we know the stuff that's being talked about Bobby now. Geez, a couple years later, and there's some suspicious things being discussed. If you don't know, I'm not going to talk about it right now, but we'll have a show coming up in the future on Sebastian.
And I don't like to speculate. And I always also assumed it was.
Oh, I'm sure you don't like to speculate.
Because of the person who was at the front door. And he was standing there, and I don't think he was the main person. I think he was the guy outside who was waiting for them to come out.
That's sad.
Because
that's sad.
If you have a gate like that, a security gate on the front door,
you're
not getting into that. You're never going to break into that security gate. I mean, I actually talked to a security guy about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he confirmed you're not breaking into those gates. So I think. And, she has glass on both sides of the door. And I think he was trying to see in. So when he was standing there, he wasn't trying to figure out what to do. He was trying to look in to see what was going on. And also, because you have a security gate, the door, the wooden door, if that's open, it's hard to see inside if it's dark, because I have one of those. You can't really see it.
Yeah, she's gonna break it all down for you. Do me a favor, you guys. Let me know because I'm trying different things here. Got a bunch of new stuff that you guys are gonna be seeing as we start our shows again here, starting back tomorrow night. Kind of tonight, but we're just chilling back, shooting some pool here and there, checking this stuff out. Let me know though. Do you guys like the medium font or the bigger font? The bigger font obviously only shows a certain amount of messages. Smaller font can fit a little more. Well, the medium, I should say. Let me know which looks better. And then we will be back to some pool after we check out this interview from Bobby. And if you want to invite me to play, once we fire it back up, add me on Pool Blitz free game. Ends with a Z. There's the logo right there. You can join us on phone, PC, tablet, Xbox, PlayStation. PlayStation's being hidden a little bit from that flag. Nice new little feature we added as well. But you can add me, EvilleCJ. Make sure you put the hashtag in there, 6279. Rosie votes medium. Thank you. All right, back to this episode with Brian. And if I can find the screen that I have set up for it, I believe it's right there. All right, here we go.
If the door's open or not. So I think he was standing there waiting for someone to come out. And so
Medium font again.
There were at least 2 people, possibly 3. You know, being someone who has had to help my elderly mother at the time, who was only 120 pounds, try to get her up 3 or 4 stairs. It's hard. It's hard when someone is not wanting to be moved or is not able to move.
Damn, why is she bringing...
So the thought that one person could move, you know, a
Whoa.
150-pound woman who's maybe not wanting to move.
You really think, let's be honest, oh my Lord. Well, what the hell's going on? Do we really think that somebody couldn't move a 150-pound female? What? Or I mean, I don't understand it. Why? Hey, Busby, we should start doing those audio vertical streams, podcasts. Then maybe the chat will show up for that too. Now, the only way you can do that is if you link it with, if you don't do it with StreamYard, you do it with YouTube. Here's the thing. If you do the horizontal and vertical with StreamYard, it doesn't combine the chat. The only way it combines the chat is if you do it through YouTube. So there's a little issue there because when you're doing it through YouTube, it doesn't keep the same stuff that the StreamYard one does. It's a bit. Yes, we'll be doing Idaho 4 coming up. There's a lot of stuff coming up with that we need to discuss. I mean, hell, there's a lot of stuff we haven't discussed for a long time, especially here with Idaho 4. And we'll be getting into, there's a lot, there's so much, there's just so much. So yeah, we're going to be talking Micah. We're going to be talking Sebastian. We're going to be talking Idaho 4. We're going to be talking David. We're going to be talking Charlie Kirk. We're going to be talking a lot. All right, let's get back to this. And we got to play a couple more games of pool here before we're done.
It's not.
By the way, we'll be back tomorrow night with our regularly scheduled programming. And then some police simulator pool game stuff after that.
For me, reasonable to think that would just be one person.
Like one person could do that, yeah.
Yeah, no. Having lifted my parents, right?
Yeah, I think that's one reason. You talk about your parents. I think that's one reason so many people are so invested in this story.
Yeah.
Because they think about their own parents.
Yeah.
And you're always worried about your parents when they get old and people taking advantage. You hear about all the scams today. You know what I mean? I think this resonates with people for that reason.
I think it does, and I think people I am sure it's caused people to look at their own parents' living situation. I mean, my dad used to live right there in this, you can see, in that building attached to my house. And you know, safety, we moved him there. That was one of the reasons, for his own safety. And so you think about your parents all the time. And I'm sure you don't want hindsight to be 20/20, but unfortunately, that's when you start looking at things like many of us have. We started examining our own homes and situations, and what else are we secure? Is there something more we can do? Can I have a brighter camera? Do I need more cameras?
So are you going to make changes for yourself, you think?
Yeah, without disclosing.
Yeah, I understand, but it's actually making you do things.
Yeah.
I guess I would too.
What?
You're so close to Nancy's house. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, most people, I think, are kind of reconsidering their own situations and looking for vulnerabilities. In fact, I know the sheriff's department, I think they have a corps, like a volunteer corps, that will do security inspections for your home and look for vulnerabilities. And so I became aware of that, and I've been sharing that information with people who I happen to talk to.
Has the FBI or detectives, have they come here at all?
Yeah, I think the sheriff's deputies were here twice. FBI was here probably 3 times, including last Friday. They, you know, of course, you get a knock at the front door. I'm like, And I can see, you know, I've got the big window there. I can see who's there, and I made him flash his badge before I opened the door, which I wouldn't have done before, to be honest. And so they came. They had more dates they wanted to look at, and we sat and looked through my cameras.
Oh, specific dates?
Yeah.
Do you mind saying what dates those were? I mean, I know January 11th has been a big one with the other name. Did that one come up?
Yeah, we went back through, and I don't know if there was more to why they asked, because I've already gone through my cameras, and really there was nothing on there but wildlife. And the other date was the 24th.
The 24th of January, they were interested in. Mm-hmm. Do your cameras face like all over the sides of the house, or what?
I'd rather not say exactly where they face.
Yeah, I understand.
But the one that did, you know, record a series around that date were just picking up animals.
Animals, yeah. Okay. But they had specific dates they were interested in.
Yeah.
Did they seem, anything else they asked you that sort of stood out?
No, I think they just wanted to, maybe it was a different group of people, I'm not sure. I mean, it wasn't the same guys who came, but they just basically asked the same questions that I'd been asked before. We spent about maybe 25 minutes together. And that was it. We went through. I think in some part, they want to make sure that people understand how to look through their cameras, and they're looking, and of course I do.
Yeah.
It's just I don't really have anything to show them, unfortunately. There's nothing on there. But I think in part they wanted to make sure that people, you know, were accurately looking through the footage.
Yeah.
And I think in some cases I do know of some people that just turned over their footage and said, you know, you can, here's all these dates, please take a look. Mine aren't really worth doing that because there's not much on there.
Has there been anything that stood out to you since you lived here for more than a decade? Like anything strange that's ever happened? Well, I'll ask you that first.
Yeah, one time I had some friends who were here. I was out, they were staying here, and they told me, hey, just let you know, there were some people that walked up to the front of your house and they were taking a bunch of pictures of your house from the front. And I was just, you know, I didn't hire anybody to do any work, and I didn't give any permission to take pictures of the front of my house. And if you can see, you can't see the front of my house from the street.
Right.
You have to walk up my driveway. And so that was alarming. And I thought about that the other day, but this was 3 or 4 years ago. I'm just going to assume that they liked the look of my house.
Yeah, well, you do have a very nice house. So.
I just want to assume that maybe they liked the way it looked, but that was a little, uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because I'd never seen that before.
Well, and like you said, your house is like, you really have to come up to it. Yeah. It's not anywhere near the road. One thing I've heard a lot from neighbors is, and even from some of my sources, is like there's a thought that one possibility is the person who did this could be close by, just because, you know, they haven't been able to track the cell phone from what we know from outside. You know what I mean? Like,
that's weird to me. I don't, and they did actually check. Actually, one more question that they did ask me last Friday is whether my internet went down that night. And I said, if it did, I was asleep. And it probably came up the next day. And plus I have new internet service from that time to 2 weeks ago. I had to change internet service. So, but I looked back on my Xfinity account to see if it cut out, but I didn't find anything.
okay.
So, yeah. And then, yeah, I mean, that's, you know, it's entirely possible, but I kind of know who's in these, and they're all like me, you know, they're all meaning, you know, they're
Bobby
all
from Sebastian
normal
Rogers'
people.
case. Yeah. Nosy Nancy.
I did, you know.
What is the
notify them,
value of this interview? I'm just trying to
like
figure this
day
out.
1 or 2 or 3, notified the,
What are we?
I got a call with, I think it was a special agent, I think it was FBI, that there was a recent turnover, and there's not that many rentals around here, but there was a rental nearby, and whoever lived there had moved out within a few days of this happening. They had moved out a few days before because the cars were gone. So
What's
I
up,
just
Unravel?
became, you know, see something, say something. So I thought it's probably nothing, but I'm just gonna call. I'm gonna talk to them and just let them know that there was somebody living there and they're not there anymore.
I'm trying to find what's the value of this interview. I'm having a hard time finding this. And what's up, Unravel? Prayers to your friend. Yes, I may reach out to you later today. Yeah, just let me know where you're gonna reach out. Yeah, hopefully you're doing good. Good to see you. We'll be doing Idaho 4. By the way, Unravel has great videos on Idaho 4. So if you're not familiar with her, but you are familiar with the case, definitely go check out Unravel. She's got some good videos. She's already said too much. I'm trying to figure out, like, at least we know she's a nosy Nancy. Man, I'm telling you right now, you could just see the look on her face, and you're like, man, I bet you if there was flies on these walls and they could talk, I can imagine. You can just look at her eyes and see how vile this lady. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. Let's just keep rolling, CJ.
And so I confirmed with a couple of the neighbors, did in fact you see those cars aren't there? He said, yeah, they just moved out.
Yeah.
And these neighbors that I spoke with didn't have any footage of it because they're stopped at their driveway.
Well, that's the thing people don't get is the footage here. People's houses are set back.
Yeah.
Zero value.
The
Yeah.
front door is gonna
Yeah.
get people out on the street. Or, you know.
Well, and I think in neighborhoods where
Right, you're so worried. You are so worried. I need to know what was the target. But let's take a look inside your house and the beautiful painting that you have. Like, dude, you don't. It's obvious she's got money.
it's just a regular neighborhood.
You know?
Houses are closer together.
You know,
and
we're worried about Nancy's mom being on the Today Show 13 years ago and her being in her bedroom, but yet we can see everything in this lady's the taste. Look at the taste. Look at the taste. You can tell. I mean,
they're not set back.
But we're worried about the Today Show.
You know, greenery, trees, shrubs. It wouldn't be that out of ordinary.
What's up,
to
Jay
catch
Gallagher?
Cars passing by. I know.
How
in
you doing
California,
today?
My house did.
We'll be back to
Every
pool
time
here
I
in a
got
minute.
In my car in the driveway, my neighbor's lights would go on from across the street.
Yeah.
I didn't like it, but I realized it's probably a good thing.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. If those flies could talk, oh, I can imagine. You're peeking out your kitchen window, complaining about Susie and Janet. Your hubby's got to listen to it all frickin' night, and he's like, "Oh my God, what did I marry? What did I marry?"
Right.
That anytime there's motion in my driveway,
What did
his
I
parents
marry?
Pick up my every movement. So we just, so this is just not the kind of neighborhood where there are those kind of people. I pretty much know in
Those
all
kind of
houses, I
people.
know who
Yeah,
lives in
yeah.
all those houses.
I bet you
around the
do,
corner.
Nancy. I bet you
I'm not gonna
do.
stay the street, but around the corner.
I bet you know what their favorite cereal is, don't you, Nancy?
Yeah.
I
Don't
know,
you? You know what cereal they
her
like.
next door neighbor. I know the people up the cul-de-sac. I know who
Yeah,
everybody is.
you know if they like their eggs scrambled or runny too.
So it's, they're kind of all.
What's the mood
Oh, I
among
can imagine
the neighbors?
living next to you. Oh
I mean,
man.
you seem pretty calm.
It varies.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
I'm always pretty calm, because the wheels just start spinning. And,
Uh-huh.
and I want to go and find out what's going on.
Right, I bet you
I'm
do.
not
See,
the person who goes.
did I not tell you in the beginning of this interview, Nosy Nancy? From the beginning of this interview, Nosy Nancy reminds you of Bobby from Sebastian Rogers' Neighborhood. Similar kind of situations. Listen to this. I know everything about. Yeah, you do. Now the shell has cracked. Now we get the real. See? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I told
I'm not
you.
gonna stay the street, but
told
around the
you.
corner.
I
I
told you.
know her next door neighbor. I know the people up the cul-de-sac. I know who everybody is. So
I know everybody. Yep.
They're kind of all.
What's the mood among
Scrambled or runny,
the
man.
neighbors? I mean, you seem pretty calm.
Yeah,
It
right.
varies.
What's up, Kev?
I mean,
we don't
I'm
drive
always pretty
Kias
calm,
up here.
because the wheels just start.
Right? Right? He's like, those wheels that start spinning, tell it to Brian. Tell it to shoot what's up.
Spinning, and I want to go and find out what's going on. I'm not the person who goes and tries to pretend like it's not happening. I want to know what's going on, and I went out and talked to neighbors. I checked on some of my older neighbors to make sure they were okay within days of that happening, because I hadn't seen my one neighbor walking his dog, and I kept going to his house to see if he was there. So that's.
Probably 15 minutes after he didn't walk by, she went over there. Why ain't you walking your dog? What can you imagine? Oh my gosh. I can't imagine. I'd be like, man, I should have rethought buying this damn thing, but I'm stuck. I would have hated to be a damn neighbor.
I kind of.
Hell no. Get the hell off my lawn, lady.
Yeah.
Mind your business.
I'm not one of the oldest.
No.
Yeah. So I kind of
mind your business.
Felt like I have the bandwidth to go and check on a couple of neighbors. And like the people right across her on the cul-de-sac, So I think people have different, there are people who don't want.
Whoa, did she say that she had bandwidth that reaches that far? Lady, you just told people you have a really expensive router that most people don't have.
The neighbors.
What?
I mean, you seem pretty calm.
It varies. I mean, I'm always pretty calm, because the wheels just start spinning, and I want to go and find out what's going on. I'm not the person who goes and tries to pretend like it's not happening, or I want to know what's going on. And I went out and talked to neighbors. I checked on some of my older neighbors to make sure they were okay within days of that happening, because I hadn't seen my one neighbor walking his dog, and I kept going to his house to see if he was there. So
I bet she calls herself the mayor of the neighborhood. She's the self-appointed mayor. Like if you wanna cut your grass on a Tuesday, you better go ask her. You better go ask her.
You see, there's quite a few older folks in the neighborhood, and
don't cut your lawn on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt like I have the bandwidth to go and check on a couple of neighbors. And like the people right across her on the cul-de-sac, So I think people have different, there are people who don't want to they try to stay as far away from this as possible. They know what's going on, but they don't want to obviously talk to reporters, and I understand that for sure. They don't want to, but everybody's still. I talked to some neighbors a couple days ago, and everybody's still, pretty
the mayor.
about it.
Yeah, most of the neighbors.
Some people are still pretty traumatized.
I think so.
The ones who are more of her peers have known her for a long time.
And some of the.
Look at that dress, like that. I don't even know what the hell you call it. I don't have that kind of money. What do you call that damn thing? It's not a dresser. It's some kind of weird ass. I don't know. Look at that table. That's a nice table. The tile on the floor, man, looks good. Looks nice, don't it? Damn, man. At least one of the neighbors like made sure that Brian Enton recorded his grill facing out the backyard. At least he wasn't showing off his freaking lawn furniture, let alone his inside. Like, come on. This is wild. This is wild.
Most of the neighbors have been like, "Oh, we're happy it's still on the news.
Give this lady
around. Like, we want them to find Nancy." There's been a few who have said, "Get out of here. It's time. You're vultures." It's been kind of a mix. But most people, I think, want it to stay kind of top of mind in some ways.
Yeah, I probably would put myself in that group because, and it's helpful to the Guthries. The more it stays in the news, top of mind, the more people, the chips are probably slowing down, right? And the more it stays in the news, the more people say, "Oh, right. Whatever happened with that case?" So it keeps it top of mind, and I'm sure that it's helpful to law enforcement to keep it out there versus people forgetting about it. I think for me personally, I don't mind it, but then again, I don't live right next door.
Right. Yeah. I won't say where you are, but you're close.
I'm close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yards.
But, I know that there was somebody poking around in my neighbor's backyard at 3 a.m. last week. And he wasn't like one of you kind of media guys. He was a new media guy, like a YouTube media guy.
And the night you said?
YouTube guy. 3 a.m. She happened to be out with her dogs, letting her dogs out. She's like, "Who are you? What are you doing?"
On her property?
Wall. Well, her property, the neighbor's property comes up to her wall, and they were on the other side. So it was technically her neighbor, but she was out in her yard. It'd like be seeing somebody on the other side of my wall there. And she went and talked to him. He's like, "You can't be there. You're trespassing on somebody's property." And people have guns around here.
Yeah.
Some people have guns, and some people are more than happy to,
Also in the middle of the night like that.
3 a.m. And he came up and talked to her, but that's still not okay.
That's really scary.
Yeah. So I think people see all this open space, and I think I'm going to find her. I'm going to claim that money, and I want to be the one to find her. And so I'm going to step over there because there's no houses and there's all this open land, but it's actually somebody's property. You can see back here, there's 2 or 3 acres back here, and it belongs to someone, right? So that's the sort of thing people don't like.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Want people to step over the line.
Yeah.
And for the most part, media, people like yourself, understand. You have to.
Come on, lady.
To get information, you have to be able to be assertive. You have to be able to go up to people, and you have to, and that's for the most part, people understand that, and they'll say yes or no, I don't want to talk, or I do want to talk. But it's these other people that aren't media trained. They don't know what the rules are, the laws are, that, I think for some people has been a nuisance.
Have you had any frustrations with law enforcement? I mean, we've heard so much about the sheriff since we got here.
Nosy Nancy. Bobby.
My first thought was hearing him talk. It was a little cringe.
Bobby.
Cringeworthy. I thought, oh man, that was not probably the best thing to say. But I can't say that he's not doing his job because I don't know what's happening behind the scenes. Maybe he's not as well media trained I don't know.
The media
But,
train. I
so
bet
I
she
can't
is.
criticize what he's doing because I don't know what's happening, and that's okay. We should not know everything that's happening. It's really if it
Yeah, grab this lady a drink.
in
Grab
any
Brian Etton
way
a drink too.
impacts the
Jeez.
investigation, if it negatively, impacts the investigation, or it's giving too much.
It reminds me of a long time ago when I first started my show, and there was a guest that I had on to promote their channel. And before I had them on, they were like, "Man, you should hear the story of how I got started doing this kind of work." And I was like, "Oh, okay." You know, yeah, people told me I should write a book. It's so crazy. And I was like, "Whoa, hey, okay, yeah, let's have you on." And then I had this person on, and literally within the first 10 minutes, I went, this person was not prepared. And then another 15 minutes go by after we start getting into the story, and the story was like, I don't even know the words to describe it. It was like you got a flat tire, you know. It's like, here's your tire, and it's flat. You expected it to be filled up with air. You expected some PSI action, right, Theo Vaughn? You expected some PSI action. But when you got it, it was completely flat, and you're like, wait a minute. But you told me you had this grand story that you should write a book, and it was going to end up in folklore and, be passed down through generations. But it wasn't even a story. It didn't even. I have a feeling like Brian Etton got bamboozled. She was probably like, look, da, 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 kind of like how Bobby did. I'm going to tell you all the juicy gossip that I wanted to twist and make up to make it sound good. The same juicy gossip that I go around and tell every single neighbor because I add my little pizzazz to it. But then, oh, shoot, once I'm on camera, once I'm being interviewed, once I'm on record, oh, I better hold back on that extra little seasoning I threw on that. And then this is what you get. This is what you get. We're sitting here going, what is the frickin' value of this interview? We've sat here. We have literally put pool aside for like a good 35 minutes. And I'm just wondering, like, maybe we should just go back to pool and listen to this still? I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, we're going to do that because we should have just done that. I didn't realize that this interview went this long. I thought it was only going to go about 10 minutes. I apologize. She's going to trip. I know the hymns, right? The cutoff strings are like this long. It's like, whoa. He went back to Florida the night of this interview. Yeah, he had to stop and get a drink at the airport bar. All right, we're gonna switch back to pool. We'll continue to listen to this, but we're gonna switch back to pool because this I don't know. I apologize for having you guys sit through all of that right there. All right, we're gonna switch back to this. We're gonna go ahead and play. By the way, if you do want to invite me, you can invite me, EvilleCJ, #6279. Pool Blitz, the logo's right there. It's with the Z, and you can join us on phone, PC, tablet, Xbox, PlayStation, and we will be back to our regular shows tomorrow night. All right, so let's go ahead and continue to listen to this, puff piece, and I'm going to go ahead and play me a game of pool here.
Information just because
Thank you all for being here. Please hit the like. By the way, come back tomorrow night. We're going to be digging in.
people want to know doesn't mean they should. So I'm not gonna, I don't know which way. I don't know if he's doing a good job or bad job I just know that it's not necessarily my business.
Yeah, it was
and
kind of
if I
torture,
don't like it,
wasn't
then
it?
there's the next election, you know.
Right.
But I think it's just he caught off guard with the media, and I understand that there was some things going on there too with his personal life. So,
anything else that you think is important?
No, other
You think
than
it
that, I
hasn't been
hope.
reported or that people should know?
No, I just hope that people keep thinking about this case. I hope that people will continue to keep especially people in Southern Arizona, keep their eyes open. I can tell you, every time I go out in public, I am looking. It's like I've got Google glasses on, and I'm putting my little AI on faces to see because I feel like I know what this person looks like. As soon as we saw the image, I said, "This is how tall he is. This is how much he weighs. He's got bow legs. He's got lady hips." I know exactly what I'm. I was like, okay, I know who this person. I don't know him, but I know what this person looks like. And
oh my God!
And I think a lot of people kind of figured out. Some people thought it was
this lady
woman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. And so, keep your eyes open, and probably nothing that the sheriff hasn't already said to people. But I personally am always, kind of scanning when I go out. To be honest, at some point it will probably stop. I'll start forgetting, but for now,
probably smart to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and you can. Anybody walking up my driveway is gonna, I'll probably put up signs, no trespassing signs.
Yeah.
Myself, so that I don't have to get into a situation where, I have. It's a terrible thing. Because at one point in our, history over the 30 years, it'd be fine for somebody to come to your front door, and they still do here. Believe it or not, I have people coming and trying to sell me things to my front door.
Well, I was kind of nervous coming to your front door, just because it's a walk up, and I'm like, gosh, I feel like people are on edge here. So for a guy to walk up, I'm just like,
Oh, I knew who you were though. But no, it's, my dogs always tell me when somebody's coming up the driveway.
Yeah.
So
you have big dogs too, so.
Yeah, and I knew, I recognized you, but. It's, you can see in my house, and I can see who's coming up the driveway from over that corner and that corner. So I'm not overly worried, but I am probably a little bit more aware, because the person coming to your house, it says they're trying to sell you their truckload of asphalt, or they see that I could use a yard service, or I could use a new roof. Maybe that's not really what they're selling.
Yeah.
Maybe they just want to come up to the door and see who's here.
Just my last thing, a lot of people have brought up like contractors. I guess that's a thing here, where there's just kind of, I hate to say shady contractors, but some people have told me that, like, there's people coming around, oh, let me clean your windows, let me look at your roof, Well,
there's a lot. You can see, you've probably heard some of it going on. Just right near her house, there was a new roof. Somebody got a new roof the last 2 days.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Cul-de-sac over there.
Wow.
He moved. He's moving. He moved to San Diego. He was planning on it already. So there were people there, and I was watching, because I could see from my back of my house who was up there. Over there is construction. There's always construction. Somebody's
see what I'm saying?
Doing something to their
kitchen
house.
Window.
They're doing an addition or doing a new roof or something, remodeling, and so there's people around. And so I had said that previously to someone that. At any given point, there are a lot of vehicles around. Most of the time you see what the name of the construction company is. But there are a lot of them. And I can tell when I was standing on her street talking to a neighbor a couple weeks ago about something else, I could tell there were cars driving by, and I was just talking to her. I said, look, they don't live here. They don't live here. They don't live. I can tell who lives here because you see them around. And they have Arizona plates usually when they live here. They don't have plates from a rental car, rental company. So when trucks come around, to be honest, now I'm probably if there's unmarked vehicles, trucks, vans, trucks, service vehicles, I'm going to be looking a little bit harder, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I hate that I have to do that, but I just, for now, feel compelled to be looking over our shoulders a little bit more. Especially since
couldn't get it.
The sheriff said it's targeted, we think, and everybody should be on alert, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for talking to me.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it. Thank you. Really appreciate Laura for taking the time to talk with me. And again, I'm staying in touch with everybody in the neighborhood, and I'll keep you guys posted if there's any updates. It's interesting. It's really hot today in Florida. You forget it's like a different kind of heat where I'm from in Florida versus Arizona. You kind of like sweat more here. I think just because of the humidity, obviously. But thank you guys again for following along with me. I'll keep you guys posted on any updates that come with the case. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I left out that I learned over the last 24 hours. There's a few little...
Yeah, he's... yeah. All right. I do want to play this one. This is Megyn Kelly talking about the family past the polygraph. Now, there was a new interview from Sheriff Nanos a couple days ago. And we'll be checking that out in the episode tomorrow night, the regular show. But I'm going to check, and we'll be checking this one out again too. But I want to play this one about the family passing the polygraphs. And, that's probably why they weren't really looked deeper into. You got to think about it like this. Okay, maybe Sheriff Nanos didn't do, because he didn't do a lot of things that he should have from the very beginning. But when it comes to the FBI, come on now. If Tommaso was suspicious to the FBI, come on, let's be real. You know that they would have been pulling him in there. So we're going to check this out real quick.
As of about 2 hours ago, Megan, I can report from a very, very...
So let me go ahead and share this real quick so you can see who's talking. All right. You got these individuals up here. You got Megyn Kelly. Shout out to her. This guy, we've heard him on News Nation before. Dude on Idaho 4 case. Wild stuff. I don't know if I can really, stuff he says is a little... But this guy right here, we'll see who it is.
Hours ago, Megan, I can report from a very, very reliable source that is boots on the ground there that the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Office have no leads.
No leads. Not even Tommaso. Okay. All right. We're going to switch back to this. I'm going to play one more game while we listen to this.
No solid suspects.
What?
And this is from someone boots on the ground that I trust.
Zero.
Right?
Zero.
They have no solid leads.
Zero.
I can also report that it has been confirmed this morning, and I'm sure we all assume this, that every family member passed polygraphs with flying colors. So what does this other date have in mind? Probably tells me that there was just some images or some type of
like the glove that was found 2 miles away.
Electronic evidence that's kind of pushing them to try to dive into that date a little bit more. But that is a conversation
That's huge,
that I had.
That information is
It
huge.
is.
So then that means, I know some people don't believe in the polygraphs. I do. But if that's true, then we can move on from the brother-in-law and the sister. And it kind of sheds a little more light on the sheriff's statement to NBC that he's had a theory about this case from the beginning, and nothing has moved him off his theory, and that he does believe he knows the motivation for the crime.
He don't.
And in the interim between that first day and now, where he says his theory hasn't changed, he did say that the family had been ruled out. He then kind of begged off of it because, of course, they don't have anybody in custody. So I'm not sure you can say anybody's been totally ruled out. But that's very interesting. I want to play for you the sheriff's comment to NBC News just days ago on how he's saying, contrary to what you're saying, that he thinks he knows the motive, which would be a lead. But you tell me. Here he is.
There is something that's come out in the investigation that gives you a sense of motive here and why this person did this?
I think it's come out from day one. I think from day one, we had some strong beliefs about what happened, and those beliefs haven't diminished.
Do you believe it was a burglary gone wrong?
I'm not going to get into those theories. We have our beliefs. Everybody else has theirs.
Nanos says he's intentionally withholding their theory and other details in the case, citing the integrity of the investigation.
But you're saying, Chad, no leads?
You can have a theory. Let me correct the way he worded it. No suspects. All right. You can have leads without suspects, obviously, and that's what they're doing. That's why they keep going back to these residences and these houses and following up with neighbors over and over again. I agree. They're probably onto some type of theory, but we still don't have a suspect.
No.
This is like amazing.
No.
But if that's true, so are you revising what you were told from no leads to no suspects?
The way he worded it is the FBI has no suspects.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm not shocked to hear that, but
None.
like that doesn't bode well in terms of, like if you look back at the Brian Kohlberger case, it took 48 days or something like that to nab him, but they had a suspect for, a good chunk of that last portion there, Jonathan. It wasn't bupkis. Like they'd been working leads. They had found the knife sheath. They knew the car that the suspect had been driving. They were going through meticulously all the records of the white Hyundai Elantras of certain years. It sounds like none of that's happening here. It sounds like, if Chad's right, it sounds like there isn't some special sauce of hot leads they've been pursuing that they're not just sharing with the public and we're days away from getting an arrest. It sounds like it is as cold and unsatisfying as many of us have feared.
Right. And so no suspects does not mean that there's no theories, of course. And, this is criminology. So rarely do we get an evolution in tactics by criminals. So criminals fall into like everything else. Everybody goes to the grocery store at the same time. You put something out online and next thing you know, everybody's wearing that clothing, that article of clothing, or watching that TV show. So criminals are very similar. They develop tactics because these people are not rocket scientists typically. They develop tactics that criminals will gravitate towards. And so there's probably just a handful of possibilities that motivated this individual to go in and do this. And so when you narrow down those possibilities, you can then start looking for specific evidence of what has occurred. And so there's statistics. You can throw that in there and say, this is typically what motivated an individual to do this. This is typically how it was carried out by statistics. And then you add in those other theories and possibilities, and you'll start to get very definitive avenues of investigation. And so this is the way this is the science behind investigations. And then you'll get, I believe probably one of the reasons why they're asking for information for those dates is because they either talked to some of the neighbors who said, we think this occurred on this day. We may have heard this or saw this. And so they'll go back and they'll look at video footage that people give on those dates to try to discover if there's any other evidence of leads. Again, on the date that you're talking about at the end of January, it was already starting about, I think you said 8 days before. So that would be moving towards a full moon. So it's starting to get brighter, which means, and in Arizona, when it's a full moon at night, which it was on February 1st, it is like a street light on outside. It's pretty bright if the moon is up. And I think you can see the difference in the videos that they show from the night that Nancy was abducted or removed from her house. And you can see the picture that was taken, we believe, somewhere in January, that it's much darker. And so they may be looking to see anybody has video footage if information comes in for those dates, and then be able to enhance that video from that point forward. But
this just in from our friend online, Nerdy Addict, who's had some good scoops in this case, parlaying off of the Brian Enton report that the police are asking residents and neighbors of Nancy about January 24th as a date of interest and possible video that they may have. The Nerdy pointing out that there is footage that drew little attention earlier in this case of somebody, he seems to be like peering through windows and kind of walking around, but he's reporting that this drew little attention as the individual appears to be black, and we do not believe that the suspect on Nancy's porch was black, though to be honest, it's kind of hard to tell. But saying that ring posts from neighbors describe this man, or somebody who looks like this man we're showing now, around 4 a.m. on January 24th, peering through windows and attempting to open doors at their homes. So this video suggesting, Nerdy here is suggesting that this is video from January 24th, that it's somebody peering through windows and attempting to open doors at homes, and that it comes from Ring cameras. It's labeled Ring in the area, but the individual appears to be black, and the guy on the porch
and not hiding their face, Megan.
Not hiding
This
his face at
individual
all.
is not hiding anything about themselves. There's fingerprints everywhere. So I just don't think I think this is showing you how many people are out there, walking about and looking in people's homes and cars in the middle of the night. It's pretty profound how many people are out there doing this.
Scary.
That's what that tells me. Yeah.
And also the carefulness of law enforcement, whatever, I mean, now at least, or the FBI, in trying to go track down every lead, Chad, like they don't think this is the guy, he's black. We think the perp is Hispanic or white, but might as well, right? Like if they have no leads, if they have no suspects, might as well go back to that Mexican restaurant where Savannah and Annie and Nancy had the margaritas and ask, did anybody linger? Did anybody have some sort of an angry fit? I don't know. Like that to me just seems like responsible police work and nothing to get excited about. But what's your take?
Well, I think it leads to the integrity of the investigation, that no stone will go unturned, that we are following up on any type of lead. Listen, go and find out. Hopefully by now they've interviewed this guy that was just on that video. I mean, is it possible that you dot your I's and cross your T's and make sure he wasn't the second person that we are, discussing? There's likely a second person involved. Could it have been him? I agree with what Jim's saying. I do not think he is involved. I also was you could see, I was trying to see if we saw any tattoos lurking out the bottom of that sleeve of his, which I, unfortunately wasn't able to see through that video. But I think that, at some point you just got to start over. You got to start over, and we got to start from day one again. And we've got to start going through every piece of information, every tip that's come in, tip by tip. Because is it possible? Look, Megan, you and I look at some of these tips and dismiss them. We slide them over to Jim's desk, and he comes back behind us and looks, and he picks up on something that we missed. That happens all the time. That's called good investigative skills, good police work.
Wow. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw.
Wow, that's good. I mean, what else are they supposed to do? They have to start from square one. I mean, what else are they going to do? There's no leads. They have nothing. The goose chasing, fake goose chasing. I mean, you got the sheriff. Oh, yeah. Dude, you don't know nothing, man. They left your ass out of it before. They're leaving your ass out of it again. All the other crap that's come out, Even like lying under oath and stuff. There's just so much. And they got that show. What is it called? Desert Law or something? Crazy stuff. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back tomorrow night with regular shows. And we'll be doing some live calls each night as well. So if you feel like calling, you can call. Get ready for tomorrow night. 330-510-1110. We'll take calls tomorrow night as well. Appreciate you guys. Love you. Please be safe. And have a peaceful and positive night. And don't have any bad dreams about Bobby. Because I probably will. I hope you don't. Love you guys. Later.